Good morning, everybody. Wanted to get onto a subject today, which I think is of interest to most people, because we all have to deal with failure, especially at the start of any kind of career or athletic endeavor, whatever it is you're into. Now, I want to do it more towards, or at least reference more towards sport, but obviously this could be tailored towards any situation in life where you're trying to learn something and get better at something. So if you do any kind of combat sports, well, any sport actually, tennis is another example, where you have to get very good at something, which is basically investing in failure or investing in loss. So you have to have an outlook, whereas instead of thinking in terms of win or lose, you could think of win or learn, or just think of testing. Every time you would go and compete or train. It could be like if you're doing sparring in the gym. Just look at testing out what you've learned, what needs to be improved on, and creating a feedback loop. So there's no ego involved, really. It's just a question of going out there, doing your best, trying to perform with the skills that you're working on at the time, and seeing if they work. You're pressure testing to an extent. So what you don't want to do there is take things too seriously. So you want to have a certain sensation of fun when you're doing it, although you are doing it as serious as possible, or doing it as best as you possibly can, but just keeping things light and fun at the same time. And then when you feel that these qualities that you've developed are working better, you can then take it a little bit more seriously if necessary. Obviously, in training situations, you don't want to normally. And then obviously you'd use it in competition. Now, in competition as well, that's another thing. You don't want to take competition too seriously. It's only, competition is only a game at the end of the day. And although you may dedicate huge amounts of your time to getting better at something, you may find that that way you build up too much pressure and you perform worse. So it is important for us to maintain this sort of feeling of fun when we're doing things, even if there's a serious intent and an element to it. Okay, that way, what you want to do then is look at everything as a testing ground and having a feedback loop. So you'll go out and test what you're learning on, and then you will use that as feedback to learn and improve in the future. That's why another thing that you want to do after competing or after sparring is doing something like that in the military would be a debrief, right? So you would straight away, immediately after your competition or whatever it may be, is look at what you did well, look at what you did wrong, and see what can be done better in future, and do that immediately as fast as you can when it's still fresh in your mind, with obviously on your own if you have to, or with somebody that you trust. Not necessary for a negative way of looking at things, because if you've just lost and you come off from a loss, you're going to be quite emotional. So you don't want to hammer on too much about how badly you did things. Try and keep this part of it maybe more logical, less emotional. Try and stay calm, and then and just think, okay, this is what I need to work on in the future. This is what I did well. This is what I didn't do well, and so forth.